Let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And you can have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and really feel the sensation of the soles of the feet through the floor, maybe your socks, maybe the carpet, maybe the floor. You can have your hands very comfortably just resting in your lap. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. You can also imagine aligning your ears with your shoulders, and imagine your spine as this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Take a nice deep breath as we continue to settle in. And bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, eyelashes even, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the jaw, the back of the tongue, your temples, your ears and inner ears. And relax the back of the head at the base of the occipital bone. Relax the back of the neck and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And now pay a little bit more attention to the breath, just noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And just noticing, if you're noticing the air in the nostrils flowing in and out of the nostrils, you'll notice it's a little cooler as you breathe in, slightly warmer as you exhale. You may also notice the sensation of the chest cavity expanding and contracting. 360-degree, movement. And just notice the belly. So during the meditation, focus your attention on one of these areas. Be aware of any sensory information, external sensory information in your environment. So sounds, for example. And just try not to follow this information or investigate it with your mind. And then be aware of the thoughts that are arising. Just put some space in between the thoughts. Try not to judge or criticize what's going on in your own mind. And as the thoughts arise, just allow them to arise and abide, and then just release them. So rather than following the story that might be arising in the mind, just let it go. Particularly if it doesn't really serve anything very much. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, these people that we have in our life. They're so precious to us. Then there's our strangers. And then there's all these people in our life. We do have people in our life who we find a little bit difficult. We have aversion for them, or we really don't like them. And because of this impermanence, All these people are equal. Well, sorry, because of this impermanence, these relationships are interchangeable. And all these people are equal. They're just like you and me in that they just want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And everybody has this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind, even those people that you don't like, even the strangers you don't care about. Of course, we can see potential in our loved ones, but we're a little biased there. So I wanted to also bring to mind all the people that kind of that crash that happened last night in Washington. And the helicopter kind of ran into a plane. It's just such a bizarre. I just can never, I mean, you can never just explain it away. There were reasons. There's just karma there, right there. So keep all those people in your mind and also all their families and their work colleagues. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can create positivity as well. So we purify ourselves by applying these four opponent powers. And the first of those is regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So, logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So, think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And you can also imagine he's made of this beautiful, radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood, so as to benefit all sentient beings. So now we have this little section on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who've harmed you. And just have compassion for them. Compassion really just means a wish for someone to be free from suffering. And we want to wish that for these people, because the harm they've caused us is going to come back kind of ferociously to them sometime in the future. And it could end up, you never know when that karmic seed is going to ripen. Like for all those, 60 or 70 people that passed last night, in a matter of seconds. Their plane was seconds away from landing. And the karma just all came together. So, we purify these negative seeds, and so we don't end up in situations like that. Sometimes the karma is very strong. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with this body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip, all the harsh speech and inappropriate speech and useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. And imagine all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech, including yourself. Because the words you write, you see, the words you speak, you hear. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine that you've walked into a room, it's pitch black. You flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So you imagine just as the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness and bitterness and grudges and anger and jealousy, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So now be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom, bliss, compassion, just kind of a relaxed feeling in the mind. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So, imagine the nectar coming in, pouring in, and pushing out from the lower orifices all the negativity of the body, and the nectar coming in and pushing up through the top parts of the body, all the negativity of your speech. And then imagine the light coming and blasting all those delusions. And then imagine it's happening all at once. So what we're doing here is just we're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasafa Dinapatita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel that you are completely purified and there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's really crucial because this is where we make a decision to refrain from harming. So these kind of motivations or intentions that we have really set the scene for us. It was really, really important to just decide, I want to refrain from hurting sentient beings. And then rejoice in your efforts of coming along and trying to make that happen. Well, you are making that happen. And then think of something you'd like to work on. So this is very much a long-term process. There's no rushing here. There's no goals. There's no kind of peak pose or whatever. There's no degree. It's just a continuous working on our minds, which we are fully capable of doing and do have the power to change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly, as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Deserving homage, worthy of respect, deserving reverence, always honorable, deserving worship, worthy of regard, the highest guru ever vulnerable, traversing all three worlds in just one stride, his step extending past the bounds of space, with knowledge of the three well-versed and pure, with sixfold higher knowledge and recall. The Bodhisattva and Mahasattva, with power great, transcending worldly life, perfected by his excellence of insight, now unified with insight's highest nature. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lamas of Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers to live long. All right, everyone. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning, and not chanting yet. I mean, I'm not chanting mantra right now, apart from this one. But so I'll think of something. It'll probably be, we might do a little practice like blessing the speech. It's always a sweet practice to do with a bit of meditation in the middle then. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for hosting, Bill.